Hello my friend, in this video I'm going to explain DistroKid's wait times, including how long it takes to go live and how long it takes to get paid. It takes DistroKid 2 to 5 days to get your music uploaded to Spotify. However, you may notice that it can take DistroKid less than 24 hours to get your music up on Spotify. In my experience, I've seen my music show up on Spotify in 1 to 3 days, even over weekends, and have rarely, if ever, seen it take up to 5 days. All in all, you can expect DistroKid to have your music uploaded to all streaming services and stores within 1 week. However, it can take 2 to 3 weeks in some more special cases. And before I continue, I wanted to let you know that I've also written an article on this topic, so if you'd like to follow along, or if you simply prefer the written word format and don't want to hear my dumb voice or see my dumb face, you can simply Google DistroKid Wait Times Best Friends Club. So you may be wondering how you can speed things up, and if there's any tips that you should be aware of to make sure that you can hit your release dates and make sure that you can get paid on time, simply keep watching this video because now we are going to dive in. So DistroKid state that you should see your music in each streaming service and store's backend once it's ingested by these services and stores. This ingestion process begins almost immediately after you submit your music to DistroKid. And here is a rough timeline of how long each streaming service and store can take. The more important ones that you'll notice is that Spotify will take usually a minimum of 2 days and a maximum of 5 days. Apple Music will take a minimum of 1 day and a maximum of 7 days. There's a bunch of different ones for all the other stores, but who really cares about those, to be honest? So after uploading your music to DistroKid, you should get a series of emails from them indicating that your artwork's been processed and that your music's been submitted to all of the stores that you've selected. You can then follow the table above to get an idea of when your music will be processed in each of these stores. However, you should remember that DistroKid will send you an email every time a store has been processed your music, so you don't actually need to constantly be checking on DistroKid or Spotify or anything like that. You'll actually get an email from them, and to be honest, it actually kind of gets annoying because if you submitted all the stores, you're just getting bombarded with emails at a certain point. And also, it is important to know that it may take several days for your music to pass the review process at that point and become approved, and then it'll actually be distributed. So I found a Reddit post from the founder of DistroKid, and he mentions, DistroKid founder here, it generally takes up to a week for your music to appear in stores, usually sooner though. iTunes usually goes live the same day, but not always, and Spotify in 2 to 3 days. Behind the scenes, we send your music to stores immediately, but on the store's end, they take a little while to get live. iTunes often happens same days, but not always. Spotify usually about 2 to 3 days. So with that said, are there any tips that you can follow to make sure that this entire review process and submission process happens as quickly as possible? Yes, of course, there are some tips that you can do. That's why I mentioned it. And here they are. First is to make sure that your artwork is 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels in size and it is not blurry. This way your release is not held up due to the artwork not being acceptable. Next is to avoid uploading music on Fridays and weekends. If a manual review process is needed, which it usually isn't, but if it is needed, you may have to wait the entire weekend. This is because usually the employees of these companies don't work over the weekends, but otherwise automated reviews will happen over the weekend. You don't have to worry about that. This is only when it comes to manual reviews. Third is to only upload once, so you need to avoid flooding the services with a similar release in a short time period. AKA review your release carefully before you hit that submit button. Next is to set a release date in the past. So if you're on the Plus or Label plan, setting a release date in the past will allow your music to show up as soon as possible. However, this will automatically happen if you are on the regular plan. And this is only if you want your music to show up ASAP, not if you want it to show as soon as possible for a future release date. And lastly, set a release date in the future. It's not always possible, but this way, you're not rushing and you can worry less knowing that your music is scheduled to come out 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, and you have lots of time to make sure that the review process happens properly. So you may have followed these tips and you've submitted your music, and now you're wondering, why is DistroKid taking so long? DistroKid can take a long time to get your music uploaded to streaming services and stores for a variety of reasons, including low quality submissions and natural delays from stores. Here are a few specific reasons why your release may be taking a long time. One is manual reviews. A small number of releases may be manually reviewed by Apple, which can take an extra 1 to 2 weeks, and this could happen with any of the stores if there's something wrong with your release. Another is that too many similar releases are coming from the same artist. This is called flooding and can happen if you keep submitting the same release over and over and over again in a short time frame. Third is a low quality submission. So this could be anything from blurry artwork to poor sound quality recording, and that could lead to the store or streaming service rejecting a release. Next is similar content existing. So stores may reject a release if similar content already appears. This could be something like atmospheric stuff like rain sounds, or if you're submitting a duplicate song. Next is natural delays, so these can happen quite rare, but if it does happen, it is out of DistroKid's hands. Lastly is cover songs. It can take up to 14 business days to secure a cover song license, and this license must be secured before your release is submitted. So if your release checks any of these boxes, your music may simply take longer than normal to appear, or you may get an email from DistroKid with a subject line similar to DistroKid update, the store has rejected your release. So what can you do if one of the stores rejects your release? If any stores reject your release, you can address the issue you outlined in the rejection notice you receive, or contact your distributor or the store for support. The first thing you should do is review the rejection email you've received as well as your release, just to see if you can simply correct the issue yourself. If the rejection email is vague and doesn't seem to point to any actual problem, review the points that I mentioned in this video or in the article and see if your release is committing any of the sins that could lead to delays. Finally, you can try to contact DistroKid for more clarification and support on the issue, and if that fails, and if the main store you're trying to contact is Spotify, you can actually contact them directly via the Spotify for Artists dashboard or app. And lastly, I wanted to go over the DistroKid withdrawal times, how long it takes for you to get paid once that sweet streaming money comes in. So DistroKid sends your money within 1 to 14 days from when you submit your withdrawal request. The default payout option is PayPal. However, you can change your payout preference to be ACH, wire transfer, e-check, or even a paper check. A PayPal account is not needed to get paid by DistroKid, it is just the default payment method. You should also know that you will not be able to select your payout preferences until you're actually owed money. And you should remember that streaming services and stores deliver earnings reports on a monthly basis, and that each report reflects sales from 2 to 3 months prior. So if you just got started and you've released some music and you got one stream and you want to get paid for that one stream, you're gonna have to wait about 2 to 3 months before that report comes in. Then you can withdraw the money, and then it'll take 1 to 14 business days. You should also know that the only payment option that does not have a minimum payout threshold is PayPal. However, PayPal charges you 2% of any transaction, with a maximum of $1 if you're in the United States and $20 if you're outside of the United States. So to keep as much of your earnings as possible when using PayPal as the payout method, you should try to wait to withdraw until you have as high an amount as possible. The other payment options do have really small minimums, and I have a chart here for your convenience if you'd like to know what those are. And you should also know that when withdrawing your hard-earned streaming and Spotify royalties, you may be charged standard banking fees. However, it is important to know that DistroKid never takes a percentage of your earnings. So with that said, hopefully that answers the question of DistroKid's wait times, and whether it's you're waiting to get your song uploaded or waiting to get paid. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you did find it helpful, make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And other than that, good luck on your next release, and I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.